Butch and Bob Show.
World famous Butch and Bob Show here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning.
And just came up on the short stick of the score yesterday in BC and Savannah.
Yeah, BC's got a good team. They beat us
7-4. 7-4.
Got to regroup tomorrow.
All right, we got Congressman Carter calling in right now. We're going to take a quick break and then come back with him in just a moment. Big Dog Country Radio, WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup. And we've got Congressman Buddy Carter on the phone with us. Bob, take it away.
Again, on the phone with us is Congressman Buddy Carter. Buddy, always good talking to you. Again, you want to call in and talk about ending waste, fraud, and abuse in Washington, D.C. and what all Trump's administration is doing to combat that. So the floor is yours. Tell us what you want to tell us.
Well, thanks, first of all, Bob, and it's good to talk to y'all always. And, of course, we wanted to talk. We're doing a little radio tour this week all throughout the state to talk about DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. Everybody's aware of that. It's the buzz in Washington, D.C. right now. One of the big commitments of President Trump and one of the big promises that he made during the campaign was to end waste, fraud, and abuse. We've got such a bloated bureaucracy now. Anytime you have as big a government as we've got, you're going to have a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse. And Elon Musk and his team and with DOGE have come up with using 21st century technology to look at these things and to really drill down deep, if you will, and find out exactly what's going on. And some of the things that they found are unbelievable. Now, it's important to distinguish between what they are doing, Elon Musk and his team with DOGE, and then what we're doing in Congress. I'm a member of the DOGE caucus, the Department of Government Efficiency caucus. Elon Musk and the team, they're charged with finding the problems. Now, we're the ones in Congress who have to codify it and have to, if it's going to get fixed, we're the ones who have to add it, add the rules and the regulations in, the legislation in order to fix it. Now, a lot of things have been done. The president, of course, has issued executive orders to let some people go. But if it's something that's got to be done through the code, then we have to do it in Congress, and that's what we're trying to do. But I will tell you, some of the things that they found are really disturbing. People on Social Security between 100 and 136 years old. One person they found was 326 years old. I mean, some of this stuff is ridiculous. And where this money is going overseas to places I've never heard of, and for reasons that are just unbelievable, millions of dollars already. They've discovered well over $1 billion. And Elon Musk has said that he thinks they can find over $1 trillion through this process, and I think he can too. Now, I'll be quite honest with you. I'm a little baffled by the other side. They seem to be upset with this, and that really is surprising to me because look, it's all of our taxpayers' money. It's Democrats' money. It's Republicans' money. It's independents' money. And we ought to all be applauding them for the work that they're doing and uncovering this and saving all of us taxpayers' money.
With his Congressman Buddy Carter, well, calm the fears, because the big fear is they're going to touch Medicare and Social Security. Elon Musk was on the day talking about those are entitlements and they can find waste in entitlements. So people are scared to death about that. So can you calm those fears?
Yeah, look, we're not going to touch anything. What they are looking for is waste, fraud, and abuse. And, I get it. Everyone's got a different definition of waste. But at the same time, I think that it's their responsibility to just point out and to possibly use a very liberal definition of waste, if you will. And then, then we'll all decide whether it's waste or not. A lot of these things that they're finding, I do think they're waste. Sending $2 million for sex changes and LGBT activism in Guatemala, $6 million to fund tourism in Egypt, over $4.5 million to combat disinformation in Kazakhstan. I don't even know where that is. you know, that's the kind of thing we're talking about. And again, the definition of waste may be a little different for people, but at the same time, I think it's important for us to make that decision. Is this really necessary? I mean, with a country that's $36 trillion in debt, with a country that's right now paying more on the interest on their debt than we're paying on defense, are, does does this really is this really where we need to be spending our money?
Yeah, what made you come up with the idea to do the radio tour, and how many radio stations involved in the state of Georgia?
Well, there's a lot of misinformation out there, and a lot of, as you just pointed out, a lot of people are concerned. And they're concerned, first of all, that the Doge committee has access to their personal information. No, they do not have access to your personal information. Secondly, that they're going to cut everyone's Social Security. No, that's not what they're doing. They're looking for waste, fraud, and abuse. And again, when you've got somebody who's 136 years old and still getting a Social Security check, what's that about? That's the kind of thing that they're trying to point out here.
Can we pivot just one topic? The situation in Ukraine again. It looked like they had a deal, but just heard Fox News this morning that both Ukraine and Russia are shooting down drones and still fighting. People still dying. So Trump said he could end that war. Where's that at this point?
Well, let's face it, diplomacy's hard, and this is no easy task to solve this problem. But I applaud President Trump for his attempts to do it. He wants peace, and he's working hard to get peace. And it's going to save lives, it's going to save money. War is never good, and we all know that. But we also know that it's very difficult when you're negotiating something like this, and it doesn't just end overnight. You have to work your way through it, and that's what he's doing right now. It's messy, yes, I agree, but at the same time, I applaud President Trump for what he's trying to do. I mean, he inherited this, and he's got to clean it up, and he's doing his best to do just that.
Well, the big question is, can he get Putin to the table? Like I said, he got the Ukrainians on board, but Putin's the person that doesn't seem to want to stop doing what he's doing. And like I said, most people in Washington, former Republican presidents, have called him the biggest dictator, and he's the evil guy. So Trump seems to think he's got a good relationship with him, but he hasn't been able to get him to the table to stop what he's doing. So how do you think that? You think he's going to be eventually able to get him on board?
Well, obviously, I'm no fan of Putin. None of us are, and he's a bully. He's a thug. There's no question about that. But if anyone can get him to the table, and if anyone can get this resolved, in my opinion, it's who I would consider the best negotiator I've ever seen, and that's Donald Trump.
Yeah, but like I said, you just mentioned the words dictator, thug, but Trump seems to be the one that is in love with Putin, from what all the national media tells you, that he has a love affair. He thinks Putin's a good guy.
Well, what you just said, what the national media portrays it to be. And I don't think that's the case at all. I think he knows exactly what he's up against, and I think he knows exactly how Putin is. But this is part of the process that he has to go through.
It seems like to me that Trump is trying to take this in little bites. If he can get Putin to agree not to attack the infrastructure, the power grids and the water supply and things of that sort, and then have a good faith there, and then move on to the next step and the next step, that's what he's trying to do. From what I've heard on Fox News and read on other news outlets, that's where he's trying to head. Is that true?
Well, it appears to be. And, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And that seems to be the approach that he's taking. As I said earlier, this is not going to happen overnight. I mean, it didn't get this far overnight, and it's not going to be resolved overnight. And it's tough. Diplomacy's hard. I mean, the meeting in the White House between Zelensky and the president, it's too bad that was on national TV. I wish it had been behind closed doors, but diplomacy is hard. These are both the both sides feel strongly about their issues. I don't agree with Putin. I don't think that he was right in invading Ukraine, but he feels he was right. So
Well, that's the thing about it is you always have dictators who think they're right when they invade a country and try to take it over. They'll give you all these reasons, but Ukraine has every right to defend themselves against an invader and not give up any land or anything of that sort. So it's going to be interesting to see. Putin knows that he can win the war of attrition. With the population of Russia versus the population of Ukraine. You can see why they did in World War II, the way they sacrificed in World War II to win against the Nazis. And so he can win the war of attrition and just keep at it. And it's going to be interesting to see what Trump does in trying to get Putin to agree to this, then agree to that, agree to this, and maybe stop the fighting all along. But it's going to be tough, and it'll be, hopefully they can get this done soon, because the loss of life has just been astronomical there in this war.
Well, it has been, and the cost of life, which is obviously the most important thing, but also, we've sent a lot of money over there, and I voted for it. I voted to send money to Ukraine. I believe it was a right vote. But at the same time, the question I kept asking, and all of us kept asking, was, what's the plan? How we get out of this? Well, the previous administration never had a plan. They never got out of it. And now we find ourselves here, and, you just got to pick up the pieces and go.
Again, Buddy Carter on the phone with us. As you mentioned, Americans are overwhelmingly in support of the work the president's doing to identify waste, fraud, and abuse. Butch wanted to ask you a local question in your, Savannah about the bridge. Ask him. Go ahead, Butch.
All right. I understand that the Savannah is going to start having a meeting sometime in the future from Savannahans to find out, what's their thoughts on building a new bridge or building a tunnel under the Savannah River. And they're going to get folks in Savannah, the citizens of Savannah, to give the input on that. Do you have a thought on that? Should we build a new bridge, or should we go under the river?
Well, going under the river would be kind of a long-term solution, as opposed to raising the bridge every time they come out with new ships and bigger ships. And certainly that it'd be expensive. Any of it's going to be expensive. We've been meeting with Georgia ports. They've kept us abreast of everything that they're considering and that they are that they're looking at right now. But at the same time, that port, and we all know this, is the economic engine of our area. We're delighted to have Hyundai. We're delighted to have Gulfstream. But let's face it, it's the Georgia ports that are the port of Savannah and the port of Brunswick. They're the economic engine of not just our area, but the whole Southeast United States. I mean, the number of jobs that come as a result of that are unbelievable, and the amount of commerce that comes through there. So, yeah, it's a lot of money to spend one way or the other, but at the same time, the return on it, the return on investment is going to be such that we have to do it.
All right, just wanted to get your opinion on that. You are right. You could, when they built that bridge years ago, you thought, well, in no world anything's gonna get higher than that, and they have. And so if you did do a tunnel, then you have to worry about 30 years down the line building another bridge or whatever the case may be. I don't see how they can get any taller without tipping over, but they seem to be able to do that when it comes to those ships coming in. It's amazing how much they can stack on one of those things. It's interesting to be on River Street and see these big old ships come by. I'm sure that you've seen that many, many times.
I have seen it many, many times, and of course, I don't want to jinx this, but they're talking about raising the existing bridge, a little bit at a time. I don't want to be on it when they start raising them a little bit.
What are they going to do? Put jacks? We talked about that the other day on the show. What are they going to do? Put jacks under it? I thought they were just going to build a new bridge. How do you raise this one? Have you talked to the engineers? How would you raise a bridge that's that big when you're dealing with asphalt, concrete, and steel like that? Without it breaking apart.
I'm not an engineer. I can tell you about the chemical formulation of pharmacists and as a pharmacist and of drugs, but I don't know how you do that. But again, you raise the apex somehow so that so that you got more air, more room underneath, so that the ships can go by. But again, I don't want to be driving over it when they're doing it.
Well, no one would be able to go across it. We'd all have to go on the interstate to go across the Savannah, not the Talmadge Bridge for a while. I guess they could raise that apex a little bit somehow, but it'll be interesting to see all the discussions on this, because that is very important to the, as you mentioned, the economic engine for not only Georgia but the southeast United States. A lot of jobs are tied to that port. From many industries and agriculture here in Georgia. And once again, we appreciate you calling in this morning. Anything that you want to finish up on when it comes to the waste, fraud, and abuse and all that kind of stuff from the government spending?
Well, again, it really does surprise me that some people are upset about this. Look, this is all of our money, and we've got to do something. We've got to bloat a bureaucracy. The government's so big now. You know you're going to have waste and fraud and abuse. And I don't. I pay my taxes, you pay your taxes, and I want to make sure our money is going to the right place, and I want to make sure it's being used wisely and not wasted. Like when we find out some of the things that they've uncovered, and that needs to be fixed, and that's our responsibility. And again, it's whether you're a Republican or a Democrat or independent, it's your money. And,
yeah.
And I'm glad they're doing it myself.
Yeah, I'm glad they're doing it too. But, as Trump said in his speech to Congress the other night, that no matter what he does, no matter what he says, it could be anything, that the left is going to be against it. They're not going to give him any credit or anything. And if it looks like he's progressing with anything, they're going to put fear and doubt out there in people. And they got a media engine throughout the United States that will relay their message of fear and doubt to everyone, which causes people to have fear. And that's about the strongest emotion that humans can have. And so I'm glad that you're doing this radio tour to try to ease some of that fear from the propaganda, apparently, that's been put out there by the left. Is that your thoughts and feelings on that?
Well, and I appreciate that. And I will tell you, Butch, this is not the first time a president has tried to do this. If you will remember, Bill Clinton and Barack Obama both tried to decrease the size of the government when they first went into office. That was one of their goals. Bill Clinton tried to cut back on it. So, this is Republicans and Democrats. Both parties have done this. And we all know that this took me a while to understand and to grasp. But the more money the government spends, the less money you have. The more money the government spends, the less money you have, because you got to feed that animal. You got to increase the revenues, and when you do that, it means increases in taxes, and it may not be income tax, but it's going to be taxes somewhere, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get this under control.
Okay. Bob, we'll wrap up.
It's just always good talking to you. Appreciate you calling in. Appreciate us being part of the tour. So again, hopefully we'll see you soon. And one final question, I guess. Your future, in politics. The lady in Backley says you're not running again for Congress. So I know you more. You know what you're going to do more than anybody. So have you made up your mind what you're going to intend to do?
Well, we'll see how things come in the future. But right now, I am focused on the honor and privilege I have of representing the people of the First District. And, we got a lot of work to do right now. And I'm laser focused on what we're doing. And I was just elected back in November. And, God's got a plan, and we'll see what happens.
Okay.
How does it feel to have the majority again?
It's nice. It's nice, albeit a very slim majority. Actually, the Senate has more of a majority than we have in the House.
Amazing. All right. Well, Congressman Buddy Carter, thanks for calling in, and we look forward to talking to you again, okay?
Thank you.
All right. Take care. All right. Congressman Buddy Carter here on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup. And we appreciate him calling in this morning and giving us an update on what's happening here with Doge. And, and one of the things that he didn't emphasize there was the fact that that Musk and his committee go in and identify, but it's the Congress that has to actually do the legal cutting of it. So they don't have the right to go in there and just cut. They say, here's what needs to be cut. Congress is in charge of taxation, spending, and stuff like that. So they'll have to make those decisions when the time comes. But President Trump has the right to sign executive orders to cut back on personnel. So it's a controversial thing, but as he mentioned, and I remember when Clinton came in and when Obama came in, they wanted to cut back. But whether they did or not, I don't know. But we do have another guest in here on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show this morning. We have Pastor, right?
Pastor, yep.
Pastor. You know, sometimes called Reverend, some call this. You're a pastor.
I'm just a pastor.
Pastor Brad Boyden of First Baptist Church of Ludowici. He's in here this morning to talk about an event coming up at their church, which happens about this time every single year. And good morning.
Good morning. Appreciate y'all giving you time to let us be on the radio with y'all today.
All right. Tell us what's going on at First Baptist Ludowici.
Well, we're coming up on our 18th annual Wild Game Dinner. It's March 29th at 5 o'clock, and it's just a great event we've been doing for our community for, like I said, the last 18 years. And it's for men, it's for families, and just a great time to come and have all kind of wonderful food as far as wild game.
What kind of wild game that's going to be cooked up that people are going to expect at this dinner?
Well, we always have deer. Very famous for our deer and fish, and we got some wild hog we'll be cooking up. And there's always some interesting things that we have. Like
interesting?
Yes.
Tell us what the interesting things are.
So last year we had some bear. The sheriff gave us some bear meat that he got from the Sheriff's Association, so we cooked the bear. And beaver. Cooked bear and beaver.
So what do they taste like?
Well, bear's not bad. Beaver's different. Boys, I just tell you that. Beaver's different. That's all I'll say.
It's different.
It is different.
You got to find out for yourself what beaver. You're going to have that this year again?
Yeah, if you kill it and bring it, we'll cook it.
All right.
That's pretty much how it is. And
legally kill it.
Yes, legally.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you for clarifying that.
All
But
right.
yeah, and another one the people like is rattlesnake.
Tastes just like chicken.
Yeah, tastes just like chicken. So one of our deacons.
So I'm going to eat chicken
Yeah,
then.
one of our deacons. He was famous for that, but he passed away recently. But he's got a nephew that keeps cooking for.
All right, keeps that tradition
keeps that
going. That
tradition
family
going.
of cooking
Yeah.
rattlesnake.
But yeah,
Bob, you ever had rattlesnake before?
I don't believe I have.
Okay.
You got to come out, Bob. I'll give you a free ticket. You get the first plate of rattlesnake.
It's probably best you don't tell me what it is.
Yeah, just don't. Just slap it down there. Don't tell me what it is. Let me just decide.
But yeah, we'll have all kind of food, and then we give away a bunch of prizes.
What kind of prizes this year?
This year, we always give away shotguns and rifles. We give away 12 gauge, 20 gauge. Give away different hunting rifles, and we give away some youth models. But this year, after the storm we had a few months ago, and it was without power for about 2 weeks, we decided to give out a generator as well.
Good idea.
Something somebody could really use. So
right.
Yeah.
those and all kind of door prizes.
So, kind of lead us through the evening when people arrive for this dinner, wildlife dinner at First Baptist Ludowici. On what date again?
It's March 29th. It's on a Saturday at 5 o'clock.
Okay. So tell us, you show up at 5. And
Yeah. Normally people start arriving 4:30. About 500 heads shows up, and so we'll meet in the sanctuary. And while everybody's in there, we got kind of a movie put together they watch. And what I mean by movie is like old clips of like Bill Dance fishing, his bloopers.
Oh, Bill?
Yes. Some
right.
of these young people don't know none of that good TV stuff.
all
so
I
they'll
can
get
remember
to
is
watch.
that blasted cap of his with a big
That's
T on
right.
it.
So, yeah, but yeah, it was different videos with that. Some different home runs, different footballs. When the football was real football, you could really hit somebody's head, knock their head off. But it's just different videos and stuff they can watch while we're waiting. Because as they go through the line to get the food.
So you go in the sanctuary, you watch all these videos, you
Yeah.
get in line to go through the dinner. Okay.
Yep. And then while they're in there, we call out door prizes. You know, like I said, there'll be a bunch of door prizes given out. And then after everybody's done eating, we'll have a little time of music. And I got a guy coming. He just gives a inspirational message, an encouraging message about the importance of why we do these things. And then at the very end, we give out the big prizes.
Okay. And usually goes from 5 to...
It normally lasts about two and a half hours.
So about 7:30,
Yeah.
you'll be out of there. And it'll be at the church at First Baptist.
Yep.
So if you're leaving from Wayne County, you do what?
You just run fast. No,
You go to...
no, brother. No, if you're leaving Wayne County, you come over the bridge and you get to the red light at Parker's. Because we ain't got one red light in Little Wissy.
Turn left at the red light in Little Wissy.
Turn left at the only one. And every time you turn left, we are half a mile on the left. Can't miss us.
You're only half a mile down on the left-hand side.
Yep.
For some reason in my mind, I was thinking it's further than that.
No.
But it's a half a mile down the left. Once you turn left there, going toward Glenville there on 301.
Nice-looking church.
Yep. And anyway, it's just a great event, and we have other churches that come and participate. Man, it's just it's for the whole community.
Okay, so it's not this Saturday, but the last Saturday in the month, March 29th, you said?
That's right.
And starting at 5 o'clock. And so do you get tickets in advance, or do you just get them at the door? What do you do?
You can go online, our Facebook page, and you can buy them online ahead of time, or you can buy them at the door. If you are a police officer, if you are a sheriff's department, if you are a first responder, if you come, you get in for free.
Wow. Okay. So first responders and police get in free. Everyone else, it's
$15.
$15. And it's at First Baptist Church in Ludowici, beginning at 5 o'clock on Saturday, March 29th. Everyone is invited, and especially bring the entire family. Kids will have a great time.
Yeah, and at 7:30, me and Bob are going to sing a duet.
Well, you just run everybody off.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody's coming out.
I thought you wanted to sell tickets.
No,
Pastor.
that may draw it. It may draw a crowd.
Yeah. People can just kind of sneak out there right there then. They've already eaten. They've won the prizes. They can just get right out.
Or we could do an arm wrestling contest. He can wear his Wayne County stuff, and I'll wear my Long County stuff.
Okay, Wayne Long and Bob.
We'll just do arm wrestling.
Bob and Brad,
Yeah.
arm wrestling, Wayne
go.
County versus Long County.
Yeah.
Y'all got a week and a half now to work out to build the muscles up.
And get ready. Have to start taking my vitamins. Old Bob pretty strong.
I think that's a good idea.
That is a great idea.
That is a good idea. Wayne versus Long in arm wrestling.
Yes.
Bob Morgan versus Brad Boyton, and get that. That'd be a great event.
Yeah,
that'd be a great event.
I can work that up.
You can work that up. Yeah, you got to work it out with the man here.
That's right. We'll pray about it. How about that?
Pray hard.
Pray hard.
Yeah. God's saying, I'd love to see that too. Of course, he already knows he's going to win,
That's
but
right.
he'll keep it a secret.
That's right. He won't let us know to the end.
Oh, First Baptist Ludowici. Every year y'all come over here and let the folks here in this area know about this big event that's going on there. And it's good to see that y'all have such a good crowd there each year at this wildlife dinner and all these prizes that you're going to be giving away. And so people just they buy the $15 ticket, and then they get in the drawing there for all these prizes. Nothing else to buy or anything like that. You just buy the ticket and you get in, you get the dinner, and chance to win all these great prizes from all the different guns you're going to give away and coolers and of course that generator you were talking about. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, and it's just great. And last year we had people all the way from Hazelhurst to some people from South Carolina. Even had some people from Florida coming. So it's just awesome to see so many people travel so far to come to our event.
That's great. It's going to be on Saturday, March 29th at First Baptist Church in Ludowici. Ludowici First Baptist Church beginning at 5 o'clock, going to about 7:30. Everybody will have a great time. It'll be a great dinner, and you may eat some things that you've never eaten before.
Amen.
Probably
will.
Yeah.
Probably will.
Just say, don't tell me what it is, just let me eat it. Huh?
That's right. Don't ask, just eat.
That's right. All right, Pastor. Anything else you want to add?
No, just appreciate y'all and looking forward to a great event. Like I said, if you got any questions, you can contact us through Facebook, and we'll be glad to reach out to you. And if you want to come and need help getting a ticket, and I know some people having struggle right now, just let me know and we'll work something out.
All right, sounds good. Take care.
Thank you.
All right, Bob, anything else? All right, that wraps up the world-famous Butch and Bob show here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup. And it's brought to you by First Southern Bank, by the Service Department of GNS Auto Sales, and by Murphy Builder Supply, and by Heron Aldridge Insurance.